Well, good morning, everyone. Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone to the National Work Zone Awareness Week kickoff and the 18th Annual Caltrans Workers Memorial. One thing that we should point out, and that is that the National Work Zone Awareness Week kickoff is being presented in California for the first time. Normally, this ceremony happens only in Washington, D.C., so we're very pleased and grateful that we have this opportunity to have it right here in the Golden State in California. A lot of times, many of us as motorists, we take Caltrans maintenance workers for granted. We also see surveyors and engineers in construction working on the bridges, also the highways and byways throughout the state of California. But we have to remember that this is one of the most dangerous jobs in America. Right now, I'd like to have Mr. John Roseberry to stand up for us. And John Roseberry was in a vicious wreck not too long ago, just last month on March 5th. And if you look back there on one of the displays, if you ever have an opportunity, you'll see how his vehicle was ripped in half and the other portion of the truck was thrown clear across the highway. But he's here in the land of living. He tells me that he's very lucky to be here, and he's blessed to be here. And someone who used to work in law enforcement, I am still amazed to see this particular statistic, that every single year in the United States, more highway workers are killed than police officers and firefighters combined. And that's a staggering statistic for all of us. Over the past 10 years, the annual number of people killed in the United States in work zone crashes has increased by 45%. That's 1,000 men, women, and children who die every single year in the work zone. That's too many people. That's why we have the campaign here in California, Slow for the Cone Zone. It may be working because 53% of all Californians are aware of the campaign, and 87% say it had an impact on the way that they drive. But sadly, I'm here to announce today that not everyone is embracing that campaign. They're not embracing the campaign of Slow for the Cone Zone. And that's why we're here, to honor the fallen maintenance workers, the 3 families that are here today. That's what we're going to do. Part of our ceremony today is the Honor Guard. This is the Caltrans Honor Guard. These are men and women that represent different parts of the state of California, from the south to the north, and we'd like to thank them for being here and volunteering. Also, I'd like to introduce to you the Caltrans Director, Will Kempton.
Thank you very much to our Honor Guard for participating today. And welcome, distinguished guests, Caltrans employees, and in particular, the family of those employees who have died in the line of duty. It is a great honor for Caltrans and for California to kick off the National Work Zone Awareness Week. So today, we not only honor the 170 Caltrans workers we have lost since 1924, we honor all highway workers across the nation. 3 of those workers were killed last year. On behalf of Caltrans and everyone here, I extend our deepest condolences to their family and friends, and let us have a moment of silence for Dewan Bush, John Knabenbauer, and Matthew White. Dewan, John, and Matthew were tremendous public servants, and they are missed by everyone. We pay tribute to them and to all the men and women, including contractors, who work so hard to keep California and the rest of the nation moving. Please note the caution sign in front of us. The orange safety cones stand for Caltrans employees who have died on the job in the last 84 years. Later in the ceremony, 4 more cones will be added to the caution sign to recognize Mr. Bush, Mr. Knabenbauer, and Mr. White, and another cone will be added to recognize all other fallen workers across the nation. Governor Schwarzenegger has issued a proclamation today. He has proclaimed the week of April 7th through the 11th of 2008 as Work Zone Awareness Week in California. Now, it is my honor to introduce my boss, the Secretary of Business, Transportation, and Housing Agency, who is representing Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Dale E. Bonner.
Thank you, Will, and good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming out this morning. I'm very proud to be here representing the Governor of California at this annual Caltrans Memorial and the first Work Zone Awareness Week to be kicked off here in California. I want to start by offering my sincere condolences to all the families and loved ones who are here today in memory of those who they've lost over the years. And I didn't have the privilege of knowing the individuals personally, but I do recall their stories that resonate with me still today. And I remember the story of Dewan Bush, a very beautiful young man living in the East Bay, California, who had been only recently with the department and had his whole life ahead of him. I remember the stories about John Knabenbauer, who had family and friends who came to his service to tell us that he was so committed to transportation that he grew up as a child with traffic signs and other memorabilia in his bedroom at home. And I remember Matthew White, who was living here in Sacramento, or his family here in Sacramento. He was assigned to a northern division in the state, was home here on temporary assignment to support his family and the state, and was lost during that time. And they were all three very tragic stories. And when you go to the funerals and you see the loss and devastation that is caused, you really can't help but acknowledging that these were all just beautiful people, just individuals out in the field doing their job and serving the state of California. And so we have to work harder every day to reduce fatalities here in California and all across the country. And everybody has a role to play, and that's why it's so great to see so many representatives of all of the various state and federal agencies here today. And in fact, the media can help us in getting this word out because it is a message that everybody needs to hear, to slow down and be careful in the work zone. It's the best way to pay tribute to those who we have lost to date. It's the best way to assure their families that the losses have not been in vain. And it's the best way to honor the service of the women and men who continue to go out every day and do the hard work on the roadway so that you and I can get to where we're going safely here in California and across the country. So thank you all very much for coming out today, and thank you for carrying the message of safety.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We often talk about what an honor it is to come before people and to spend some time with them, but this is truly, truly an honor and heartbreaking. It's not supposed to be like this. No one's supposed to go to work and not come home. And when they left, you expected them that night. And when you went to the kitchen table and you laid out the placemat, you made room for them because you knew they were coming home. Because even though it is one of the most dangerous jobs in this country, you knew they were coming home. It's not supposed to be like this. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me an opportunity to express to you how deeply I feel your loss, the pride that I feel in the department, and the hope that you all represent for California. Thank you so much.
You know, today is a somber day. We reflect, we think of, and we honor all those that have given us the ultimate sacrifice with their lives. But today is also a day to celebrate. Today, SB 1509 passed its first hurdle in the California State Senate. Simply said, SB 09 says, if you assault, if you hurt a Caltrans worker, you will pay. You will pay with increased fines, and you will pay with jail time. You can be assured that I will work as hard as possible to ensure that this bill passes and that it gives the needed protection that highway workers deserve. I'm looking forward to working with Director Kempton and others at Caltrans to ensure the passage of SB 1509. Thank you very much.
morning, everybody. There is a highway safety statistic that we talk about periodically. It's one that's always resonated with me. Highway crashes are the leading cause of death for all age groups between the ages of 4 and 34. That's why safety is the #1 priority of the U.S. Department of Transportation. That's why President Bush, Secretary of Transportation Mary Peters, and all of us at the Federal Highway Administration are dedicated to reducing crashes and deaths on our highways and in our work zones. Work zones are vital to keeping America moving. We can make them safer places to drive and safer places to work by doing our parts both professionally and as individuals. Thank you for letting me be part of this event this morning.
Hello, how are y'all? The importance of roadway safety came to light for me in 1997 when my dad had an accident working for Texas Department of Transportation. In so many cases here today, people have lost their lives because someone wasn't paying attention, they were rushing or going too fast and didn't see that reduced speed limit sign or chose to ignore it. However, in my case, my dad was saved due to someone paying attention. When my dad fell in the work zone, it was because someone was paying attention and saw that reduced speed limit sign and chose to slow down. I remember her name. Her name was Juanita. And she was there when she saw my dad fall, driving down the street, and called the police and also stopped. Had she had not been paying attention, she would have hit him. I believe that the events that we have like today are very important because it makes people aware of what's going on and the lives that are lost and the lives that are changed and the people that won't be coming home. I am fortunate, again, that my dad will be coming home. But I think it's important that we need to continue these events all over the U.S. and inform people and educate people about safety services on the road.